I'm going to be playing Car Manufacturer. Quick playthrough of War Order Challenge 1. It starts off in a bombed out factory. First you have to either remove the debris, but I found out you can just move it out of your way. So that's what I began doing, moving all this stuff out of the way to the back, giving myself some room up in the front. I also discovered that the parking lot could be moved, so I moved that to the front. I also started to extend the building out to give us room for not only the sales office, but the car manufacturer floor. This is not the first time I played Car Manufacturer. I played the prologue, which I really kind of like, so I put it on my wish list. I see that it has come out in the demo pre-release version, so I thought I'd give the demo a try. So here we are. Here I thought I could put one of those bombed out assembly lines inside the building, but I found out, no, you can't. It needs to go outside, and then it's kind of difficult to kind of get these things to actually rotate to the right direction. But here I'm just trying to fit 2 assembly lines into the one bay door, but realized I might as well just go with the one assembly line. That'll probably work better. Just taking a quick inventory of the stuff I want to save around the bombed out factory. Some of that stuff is pretty cool. And then I started putting these storage racks where the haulers are going to start carrying the stuff in for the mechanics to start putting that stuff together onto the assembly line. Put it in the sales floor along with the sales desk and the display, which is kind of neat. Put your car on the display and it rotates. Now from the sales menu, I can select the car we're going to start with. It's going to be the Camaro. It doesn't give you much option than that. And then I discovered this neat window that looks like it expands out the car's details. I'm not for sure how deep this particular game's going to get as far as swapping out engines, chassis, drivetrains, tires, axles, all that good stuff. But right now it does look like it's pretty static. You get one vehicle to start with, and that's the vehicle we're going to assemble and sell. Now you order all the stuff in the storage racks, it places the order, and then the haulers begin to haul that stuff in. I did not realize they were hauling the stuff in from the train down the stairs. That was kind of neat. Now once they get finished hauling all the parts down to the storage racks, the mechanics here will start to get those parts from the racks and begin to assemble them right there on that first assembly line. Now Car Manufacturer is available on Steam. It is the demo version I'm playing right now. It is not the pre-release. The reviews are mostly positive. Out of 489 user reviews, it's about 79% are positive. Going over some of the comments. Now, Nebraska Farmer does not recommend it. Has some nice ideas, but no depth. No replayability. Economy is basic and not a challenge. He said he completed the tech tree and the highest level research after only 17 hours of gameplay. Now here our first car had rolled off the assembly line, so I went to the sales menu and jacked up our sales profit to 400%. That did not go well for the first few sales, so I had to decrease that down to 300%, where we did sell our first vehicle. Now Buddha does recommend the game. The game is addicting for them. Automation to my heart content. Early access at the time I played it. I'm finding so much joy in this game, and I can't wait for more content to be added. Here I'm actually going through the quest objectives and removing 15 debris. And then popped up the next objectives for the scenario, which was to add in a research center, desks for the researchers, and a research area. Now this is an indie game. It is built on the Unix platform. It is available early access for $19.99. No, I am not actually getting paid to advertise this game. I just always found car-type tycoon games fun. Now, I did actually start with Car Tycoon, which is probably one of the worst games, but it was fairly addicting. It had a lot of bugs with it. It didn't really fill the niche that maybe what Detroit Gear City now has. But with the addition of the automation and the logistics and the micromanagement and attributes of the workers, combined with the simulation and the strategy and the building, it does make quite an interesting and fun game. Now, the little guy that popped up down below said, we need to start preparing the production area as soon as possible. Let's focus on setting up necessary equipment and training our workers. Once the blueprint is ready, we'll be ready to start the production right away. So that's what I began doing here, is expanding out the factory. putting in more of the assembly lines, I figured you might as well go with just individual assembly lines, maybe putting in some quality workers or at least training them to level them up. But in hindsight, I should have set it up like the old Henry Ford assembly line, where it just moved down the line, each worker was their own piece. I think that's the way you're supposed to play it, but I went with the old, Italian rule of the quality car from each individual mechanic. But we'll see, we'll see. We'll see. And if you notice, I just put in some shelves that absolutely do nothing. But I wasted no time in setting up those assembly lines to start pumping out those Camaros at 300% profit. And then filling those assembly lines with 2 mechanics each and filling up the rest of the worker bank with haulers. At this point, it was just basically waiting for the research team to get done with the first blueprint for our first military vehicle, which would be coming up pretty soon. In the meantime, I OCD'd all the blown up parts that were laying around outside in the bombed out factory into some form of disarray that maybe looked like we were trying to display it in some memorial fashion, but it eventually just looked like a mess. So I blocked cars in and I set this building over with that ladder, scaffolding, platform inside, and 2 mechanics got in there and got stuck on it. So I had to eventually remove that to get them working back on the car that was in that second assembly line. But then eventually, finally, the research team completed the research of our new military vehicle. So then I set about to change over our assembly lines from making the Camaros into the Cheeps. That's C-H-E-E-P. The Cheep. So as that process is underway, I'm going to leave your ears to a rest with some chill music interlude. So with our cheap manufacturing underway, I went ahead and unlocked the rest of the tech tree. That didn't do much for me. So with our assembly lines on full production of the cheaps, it was now just a wait game to see how many we could pump out and sell. Obviously, I did not do this correctly, as we would end up with only a 3-star scenario ending. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun, and I just want to leave you with some of the owner testimonies of the quality and the intellect it takes to own a cheap manufactured vehicle from our cheap manufacturer home. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Don't. If you don't, it doesn't really. I mean, we're not doing monetizing. 200. We're looking for 250, but you know, going backwards. Anyway, enjoy our owner testimony, and as I said, try this at home. Okay, good night, everybody.